Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Preston with Better Pastures Farm. So today I'm here in southern Utah looking at this pretty view. We're looking at this alfalfa pivot. And today I want to talk a little bit about soil organic matter, why it's so important, why we want it, why we need it. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So as you can tell, we have beautiful green lush alfalfa on one side and a direct line on the other side. What is the difference between these two sections? Well, first I'm going to say the biggest difference is one is getting watered consistently and one isn't. As we look a little closer here, we see a lot of bare soil that's being shown. The majority that is growing out here is this cheatgrass. We got some tumbleweed. Not a whole lot of diversity going on here. And like I said, obviously this alfalfa field's a monocultural, but the main difference is water. So I want to talk a little bit about organic matter. Well, first, let's talk about what is organic matter. Organic matter is anything that contains carbon compounds that were formed by living organisms. Carbon compounds. So that really constitutes, we can go further with that. So that looks like anything like lawn clippings, leaves, stems, branches, moss, algae, lichens, manure, droppings, sawdust, earthworms, insects, microbes. I mean, we can go on. So that's the foundation, what soil organic matter is. The next thing we want to talk about, why do we want soil organic matter? Soil organic matter is a primary source of carbon. We kind of talked about what is carbon, any material that came from a living organism. Soil organic matter is a primary source of carbon, which gives energy and nutrients to soil organisms. This supports soil functionality because it improves the activity of microorganisms in the soil, and it can enhance biodiversity. So that's number two. Why we want it: give nutrients to the soil, and obviously our biggest goal here is get better soil, more production, higher production. And even on these more brittle environments, the higher soil organic matter we can get, the more productive these pieces can be without a ton of inputs. So the third thing I want to talk about is, how do we get soil organic matter on the land? Well, it depends on what your operation is and what you're doing. Back home we run cows, so we'll bring cows in and trample. We won't eat all the grass. We'll eat about 50%, and then the cows will trample quite a bit of the grass back into the soil, which is feeding the soil. And what also helps feed the soil is when you have taller grasses and then you eat it, and then what's on top of the soil is direct response of what is below the soil. So if I have a foot of grass on top and the cows eat it down 6 inches, then approximately roughly 6 inches of soil mass has died in the soil now, and that'll also feed the microbes. The fourth thing is the water cycle. We got to get our soils right where we can start getting the water cycle right, where we can start holding more water. And if we can hold more water, we can grow more grass when we don't have a ton of rainfall. Each pound of soil organic matter can hold up to 18 to 20% of water. 1% of soil organic matter can hold up to 1 inch of water in the soil. So think about that. 1% of soil organic matter can hold up to 1 inch of water in the soil. Every 1% increase in organic matter results in as much as 25,000 gallons of water per acre. So now think it's an additional 25,000 gallons. So for every 1%, we can additionally hold another 25,000 gallons of water. available water for the soil. So you look down here and it's like, if we could start holding more water, we could start getting production like this alfalfa. Like I said, again, what is the main difference? You know, obviously the soil is going to be better over there, but the main difference is the water. So it's so important for us to figure out how to learn how to hold water, capture water, and get the water cycle right. And part of that is we got to get some carbon on the ground. We got to manage correctly to where we can get carbon on the ground, and then we can start seeing better, more productive results. So like a lot of this ground is fairly bare. It's a little bit stagnant. You know, one thing you can do in these more brittle environments, bring animals in to break up this capping and start the cycle. Ian Mitchell Innes from South Africa, he's a South Africa grazer, and he always says, he come out to Missouri and he said, you guys got it easy. This is easy country right here. He said, back where I'm from, you know, you can't make mistakes lightly because the results take so much longer to see. In Missouri, we're very wet, to where if I overgraze something or don't put enough carbon down in certain areas, it affects me, but not to the extent that it would affect people out here. Because of, we get enough rain that our growth rate, you know, stuff grows back pretty quickly, and then you learn, you move forward. But out here, you definitely gotta, it's definitely harder. You gotta be on your game for sure more. I definitely do take my hand out to all the ranchers in these more brittle environments. Definitely got to be on your game more. This cheatgrass, they had a pretty wet year this year, so they grew a ton of cheatgrass, which is, I don't know whether it's good or bad, but I was talking to a buddy and he was saying that they grew so much cheatgrass, then when they get dry, you know, they get a fire, they can't even put their fires out. The fires just rip on this cheatgrass because it's completely, as you can see, it's completely dead. But you know, even that, if you could get this cheatgrass trampled onto this soil, it would help so much. Well, that is a pretty view, pretty mountain. Thank you guys so much for watching. If there's any questions or comments, put them in the comments below and I'll look at those. And we will see you guys in the next video.